The Great One. Art by Jennifer Peters. Story by Jamie Mason. Read by Conrad Krauser. They were summoned by the rain. They came from under rotted logs, tree roots, and the edges of stagnant pools, hounded from their burrows deep underground. A horde of western tiger salamanders. They waited. They waited as a white Ford Ranger rattled down the number 5, brake lights blinking intermittently and veins of orange-yellow rust creeping along its undercarriage. Inside the Ranger, Alexei Krivkovic squinted through the smears of rain on his windshield and watched the sky, deep with swirling grays and fusing with the road in an endless, flat landscape. "Damn the windshield," Krivkovic could hear his wife's voice. "Your truck sounds like it's begging for help." She was always so goddamn dramatic. The water was rising, almost engulfing the highway, yellow lines and all, and thunder grated across the fields of canola, raucous and violent. Krivkovic leaned forward and squinted. Just ahead, there were black patches on the highway, and a line where the color darkened, like freshly grated gravel. What in the... The road looked like it was wriggling. What the hell? The road was wriggling. It was slick with salamanders, slippery and wrinkled, fanning across the black cement. Krivkovic leaned forward and flicked the wipers up, then flicked them down again. The road was alive and undulating. Krivkovic had only ever seen one salamander in his life, the pet salamander he had caught when he was 7. He named her Stripe because of the yellow line down her back and kept her in an old Chapman's ice cream pail with dirt, sticks, and bugs, little ones with a million squiggly legs that rolled up like tiny armored tanks. One day when he checked on the salamander, her tail had fallen off. Krivkovic tried to treat the injury with honey and turmeric, but Stripe screamed in agony, mouth wide, muscles locked, writhing and undulating. Not long after, Stripe was dead. The road ahead was blackened completely now, wriggling with bodies. Krivkovic turned off in the other direction, would add another half hour to his drive. If his wife were here, she'd be grabbing at his sleeves. "Don't hurt them, Alexei, please!" "It's their own fucking fault for being on the road," he snorted and drove over the darkened line. The idea of hundreds of salamanders beneath his tires, splashes of red, rending limbs, squirting viscera, flattening bodies, all of it brought bile up into his throat. He remembered Stripe's gaping mouth. Fucking idiots can't even keep themselves alive. If Stripe was any example, they wouldn't even survive with a silver spoon in their mouth. They would die anyways, he thought. Likely of starvation. This was a merciful end. Krivkovic nodded and stepped on the gas. The truck jerked and shook, and the check engine light flicked on. The slough bulged upwards. Something was rising from its center. Something giant. What the fuck? An eye. A glinting eye bigger than the cabin of the truck. Then a gargantuan bulwark head emerged with mottled flesh and a gaping, wrinkled mouth. The cavernous mouth filled his view and struck the tail of the truck. Krivkovic's head bounced off the steering wheel and the truck spun and slammed to a stop. Shit! Fuck! 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 The great maw of a creature clamped down on the truck. Krivkovic body checked the door and threw himself out. The ground rose up to meet him with a sickening crunch. He screamed, and his wife's voice echoed in his head. "Alexei, please! Please, Alexei!" Why hadn't his wife just fixed the goddamn truck? Krivkovic urged his body to move, but pain shot through him. He screamed in agony, mouth wide, muscles locked. As his vision darkened and blurred, the giant creature's soft body slinked into view. She had no tail, and there was a yellow line that ran straight down her back.